There's something beautiful about ruins, don't you think? And these particular ruins are among the reasons why Fortune Island in Nasugbu attracts tourists. What's up, Beach Listers? This is Hannah from Philippine Beach List. For more than a decade, our team, together with our partners at The Poor Traveler, have been exploring the Philippines to list out the best that the country has to offer. Breathtaking sights, brag-worthy bites, and of course, beautiful beaches. In our recent videos, we've been taking you around several destinations in Batangas. And this time, we're going back to Nasugbu to explore an island found around an hour away from the mainland. Fortune Island. But before we begin, please subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon beside it, and select all so you won't miss any of our informative travel videos. If you're watching this on Facebook, support us by following this page and sharing this video. And if you want to score discounts off your travel essentials, here are some promo codes to keep in mind. On Klook, use promo code PHBeachKlook to score up to 300 off hotels, resorts, tours, and other activities. We'll also add these codes and links in the description of this video and pinned comment for easier reference in the future. Using these promo codes also helps us maintain this channel because we get credited for every booking at no additional cost to you. In fact, you even get great discounts. It's a win-win. Fortune Island is possibly one of the most beautiful camping spots in Nasugbu today. But before tent pitching became a thing here, it was the location of an exclusive luxury resort. However, the resort closed down in 2006 due to the lack of freshwater sources on the island. Luckily, the island was reopened a few years later, this time devoid of luxury but still beaming with its natural beauty. The 27-hectare Fortune Island is located in the municipality of Nasugbu in the province of Batangas. Taking on a more rugged form since ceasing the operations of the luxury resort, one remarkable reminder of its grandeur remains: an acropolis with Grecian pillars and statues sitting atop the island's limestone cliff overlooking the sea. This striking view is only hours away from Manila. Nasugbu in general is about 3 to 4 hours away from Manila, while getting to Fortune Island takes around an hour by boat. But before you can even step foot on Fortune Island, you must first stop by Fortune Island Resort, which serves as the gateway to the island. If you're driving, it's easier to navigate using Google Maps or Waze. Just type in Fortune Island Resort as your destination. The address is Apasible Boulevard, Barangay Wawa, Nasugbu, Batangas. There are 2 routes you can take to get there. First is via Cavitex, while the other one is via South Luzon Expressway or SLEX. The resort has a parking area for guests. Here are their rates. If you don't have a private car, you can easily get to Fortune Island Resort by commuting. If you're coming from Manila, you need to get on a bus to Nasugbu, Batangas. There are a few bus companies that travel from Manila to Nasugbu, and they each have different terminals. The Pico has this route at their Buendia terminal located near the LRT Hill Puyat station. Not too far from it, San Agustin bus line uses the Genesis bus terminal near MRT Taft. Meanwhile, you can board a St. Gabriel bus at Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange or PTEX. Travel time is 3 to 4 hours depending on the traffic, and fare ranges from 160 pesos to 250 pesos. Alight at Nasugbu town proper, just ask the conductor to drop you off at the town proper so they can alert you when it's time to get off, and then ride a tricycle to Fortune Island Resort. The resort is the jump-off point to Fortune Island. The tricycle fare is around 15 pesos to 20 pesos per person. From Fortune Island Resort, you'll be boarding a boat that will bring you to Fortune Island. On the way to Fortune Island, we were expecting the waves to be strong and unforgiving, but I guess it was a blessing from above that the waters were calm for our trip. Some of our teammates previously visited the island and shared that they had to dock at the cliff diving area instead due to the rocky waters. Since the waves were much calmer for this recent visit, we were able to dock at the beach. Approaching the island, the Grecian ruins proudly greeted us, and upon docking, we were able to sink our feet into the white sand of the beach. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here. In the next section, we'll talk a bit more about the fees and services you'll have to avail at Fortune Island Resort in order to get to Fortune Island. Once you get to Fortune Island Resort in Barangay Wawa, proceed to the information booth to register and pay the fees. There are different entrance fees and boat rates depending on whether you're going for a day trip or staying overnight. Don't feel daunted by that because we made sure to compile it all for you. Let's start with their entrance fees, which you can find on the screen. The resort does accept walk-in guests, but if you're going to visit during peak season, it is advisable to make a reservation. And if you're traveling with kids, those who are aged 5 to 7 have a 50% discount, while children 4 years old and below can enjoy Fortune Island for free. From the Fortune Island Resort on the mainland, you need to hop on a boat to Fortune Island. Rates vary depending on the size of your group. The smallest boat can accommodate up to 4 people, while there are boats that can accommodate up to 15 packs. As with many other destinations, the boat rates here would come out cheaper per head when you have a bigger group. Here are the rates. Note that children aged 8 and above are counted as regular passengers. Another important thing to know is that the maximum capacity of each boat might be reduced when the weather and nautical conditions are not favorable to ensure the safety of all passengers. Aside from these, you also need to pay the municipal or barangay ecological fee, which is 20 pesos per person. So, getting to the island is one thing, but what about actually staying on the island? If you're wondering where you can hang out and put your things once you're on the island, there are cottages that you can rent. These are concrete tables and benches with a tent. For a day tour, it costs 1,500 pesos per cottage, while it costs 2,000 pesos per cottage for overnight stays. As you can see from the video, the cottages on the island are quite frankly not in the best condition. It's quite clear from the video, but even more apparent when you're sitting beneath it under the sweltering heat of the Philippines. What we found to be a smart alternative to renting a cottage is to rent a tent or pay the tent pitching fee instead. Most of the other guests on the island did this, finding refuge under the shade of the trees scattered across the island. Not only is it a bit cooler under the trees, but renting a tent or pitching your own tent saves you money as it's a fraction of the price of a cottage rental. Here are Fortune Island's camping rates. Since we've mentioned the camping rates, let's talk about where you can stay when you visit Fortune Island. If you want to stay on the island itself, your only option is to go camping, and this option is for adventurous travelers who don't mind roughing it. For a while, there was no running water on the island. As of recording, they have saltwater-based comfort rooms and showers. Electricity, on the other hand, is still not available on the island. The pro of going camping though is that it gives you more time to explore the island and more time to enjoy it without the heat getting in the way. If you plan on going overnight, we suggest bringing your own tent instead of renting one. You can actually save more in the long run this way since you can reuse the tent for your other camping trips. And if you're one who values comfort, you can stick with going on a day tour to Fortune Island and book a room at the Fortune Island Resort on the mainland instead. They offer different types of rooms, including pet-friendly ones if you're planning to travel with your fur babies. Here are their rates. There are also other hotels and resorts in Nasugbu where you can stay. Among the most popular are Canyon Cove Hotel and Spa and Pico Sands Hotel. You can book these hotels through different booking platforms including Klook, and if you book via Klook, you can use our promo code PHBeachKlook for different discounts. If you're looking for more options on where you can stay in Nasugbu with more details, you can check our best resorts and hotels in Nasugbu article on our website. All the links to the hotels and this article will be in the description and pinned comment below to make it easier for you to find them. While there is a lack of amenities on the island, there are a few activities that you can enjoy on this Greek-themed escape. First of these would be swimming and beach bumming. Honestly, even just chilling on the beach and taking in the beauty of the island would be an enjoyable activity, especially if you're after a relaxing getaway. It's just an hour away from mainland Nasugbu, but the difference between the shore on Fortune Island versus the shore back on Fortune Island Resort is stark. Fortune Island's shore is a mix of fine white sand and rough corals which looks stunning under the sun. There's not much distraction here since it doesn't get as crowded as other beaches, and you can even feel like you have the island to yourself if you visit on a weekday. And of course, did you really go to the beach if you didn't have a dip in the water? However, it is important to know that even though the water may be shallow on the beach, the waves can be really rough. So just make sure to prioritize safety and not go too far into the water. You can also take lots of photos. We'd argue that photo shoots and video shoots are one of the biggest reasons why tourists still flock to Fortune Island despite its relatively abandoned state. Even from afar, the Greek-inspired ruins atop one of the island's hills are the first thing you'll see on the island, and it's likely the first spot you'll go to as well. Many a bride, groom, and debutante have made this a backdrop for their videos, and we can definitely see why. Our team took advantage of the old world charm the ruins brought and took our own photos and videos as well. On the other side of the island is a cliff jumping spot. From the beach, you need to climb up the steps going to the acropolis. The cliff jumping side is to the right of the columns. Jumping here will bring you straight into the deep blue waters, so please ask assistance from the staff if you want to do cliff jumping. We actually weren't able to cliff jump because the water was a bit rough later into the day, so do keep that in mind. Another activity you can try at Fortune Island is snorkeling. While the island itself is a sight to behold, Fortune Island's underwater scene is also worth exploring. It's best to bring your own gear, but you can also rent one at the resort on the mainland before you make your way to the island. Snorkeling gear rental costs 100 to 150 pesos. If you're a scuba diver, you will be delighted with the underwater gems that the island hides beneath the surface. One dive site you might enjoy are the remnants of the galleon San Diego that sank in 1600 after it was engaged by the Dutch warship Mauritius. Close to it, you would see a Volkswagen minibus. Random, I know, but really interesting still. Other diving sites that can be explored here are the Blue Holes and Fortune NW. Whether you're going for a day trip or going camping, it's important to bring your own food and water to the island. There are no restaurant, stores, or vendors here, so you should prepare in advance and bring enough food supplies for your stay, especially water because it gets so hot. If you're going camping, bring a portable stove or grilling essentials and cooking utensils to prepare your meals. Boat operation to the island is from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. only. It's best to go early to make the most of your time if you're only going on a day trip, because boat trips back to the resort are only until 4 p.m. This is because the waves are strong in the afternoon. If you're staying overnight, best to still head to the island as early as possible to find a good spot to set up your tents. There aren't many shaded areas on the island, so it's better to set up camp before most tourists arrive, especially if you're going on a weekend or during peak season. Toilets and showers on the island are saltwater based, which means they get water from the ocean. If you're in need of a toilet or shower break while on Fortune Island, you'll have to bear with the salty water. If you're in need of freshwater toilets and showers, you can find them at the Fortune Island Resort on the mainland. The resort charges a 20 peso per person fee for the use of their shower area. As mentioned earlier, there's also no electricity on the island, so if you need to charge your gadgets while you're here, make sure you have a power bank that would last you a while, especially if you're planning to go camping overnight. And that's it for this Fortune Island travel guide. If you have any questions about traveling to Fortune Island, Nasugbu, or even Batangas in general, leave us a comment. We also have a playlist dedicated to all our Batangas content, so check that out if you're planning a vacation south of Manila anytime soon. If you have suggestions on which destinations we should visit next, let us know too. You can also reach us through our social media pages. Just look up Philippine Beach List on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. If you want to see more travel guides like this and everything you need to know about traveling around the country, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you get notified when we have new videos. You can also check out our blog, philippinebeaches.org. The Philippines has so many islands, it's going to take a lifetime to visit each one. So that just means we better get counting. Again, this is Hannah. Join me next time as we check another destination off our Philippine beach list. Bye!